Weather, partly cloudy today, a high of 89. Clear overnight with a low of 63. More sun tomorrow with a high of 91. Don't miss out. Get your tickets to Diamond Rio at the Santa Clarita Performing Arts Center, College of the Canyons, Saturday, June 30th at 7 p.m. with special guest Savannah Burrows. Tickets are on sale now. Visit canyonspac.com. That's canyonspac.com.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
Welcome to the Senior Hour, which is sponsored by Comfort Keepers in Home Care and Advanced Audiology. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host,
Dr. Jane Dorio,
on your hometown station, KHTS. This is a show for, about, and by seniors, giving information to enhance one's quality of life. And our special guest this morning is none other than Dr. Thomas Polucki.
It's good to be back.
How are you?
Awesome, thank you.
I haven't seen you in ages.
Yeah, yesterday, right?
Every day. We got to stop meeting like this.
There you go.
So what's the subject going to be today,
Okay,
sir?
we've talked about this before, and it's gotten to the point now where I almost I cringe when someone asks me what kind of doctor I am, right? So I did some background research on this, and I found out, why that is as far as the public's opinion about chiropractic. Because there's a huge, because you're treated in my office, how different what I do than the other chiropractors you've ever seen.
Absolutely. Whoops.
But it's almost like an elephant in the room. It's the hardest thing to try to talk to somebody once that word comes out. Once the word chiropractor comes out, then you have to do a whole bunch of backpedaling of, but we don't twist and crack. Oh, but we measure. Oh, but I have 165 five-star reviews. So it's kind of a barrier. So check this out. I did some research, and now I know why. I wish they would have told me this. I still would have done it anyway, but I really wish the chiropractic profession would have been honest and should be honest with everybody considering it. So obviously medicine is the #1 healthcare profession in the world. Okay. Conventional medicine. Followed only by dentistry. And then there's chiropractic. So you would think that we get a fair share of the pie. It's the 3rd largest healthcare profession on the planet.
Whoa.
But guess what percentage of the population utilizes chiropractic? And I suspected this all along, but I did some real research and found out the real numbers on this from a couple different sources. Take a guess.
I can't imagine.
15%.
What?
15% of the population will utilize. Now, check this out. Okay, so the numbers get even stranger after this. So 15% of the population will utilize chiropractic. So it's the 3rd largest healthcare profession on the planet, and only 15% will use it. So half of the American population will never consider using chiropractic for whatever reason. Mostly because they don't understand it. They're not sure whether their insurance is going to cover it. They don't know what's involved. They don't know how much it's going to cost. So there's a lot of what ifs. And as soon as you have to start asking those kind of questions, you've already lost a big chunk of them. Now, another 25% of the American population actually thinks chiropractic is dangerous. So I don't want to step on anyone's toes here, but last year there were 25 deaths that were related to chiropractic and 250,000 related to conventional medicine.
I'm not surprised.
So the thought that a quarter of the American population thinks chiropractic is dangerous is absurd. But it doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what the facts are. It matters what the people think. So a quarter of the population thinks chiropractic is dangerous, even though it's the safest form of healthcare on the planet. Thousands of times safer than aspirin.
What's interesting,
50% will never consider using us because they don't understand how it could possibly help them. But here's the scariest part. The 15% that likes us, the 15% of the population that goes to chiropractors, half of them thinks that it costs too much and it takes too many treatments in order to see a result. When I saw these numbers, and this is a really good study, this is not someone who's got some kind of grudge or some kind of point to prove. These are good solid studies. When I saw these numbers, I was like, well, that explains a lot. I mean, a lot. And nobody ever bothers to bring up these numbers. They're certainly not given to you during orientation and, you know, the first day of chiropractic school. I think a lot of people would shy away if they knew what they were getting into. Now, it didn't bother me because literally I was in the system of becoming a medical doctor. I was testing for Johns Hopkins, possibly the most prestigious medical school on the planet, when I got introduced into chiropractic, and it so radically transformed my opinion about what healthcare could be that I decided to go to chiropractic in school instead. So I am a little bit of a special case, but I guarantee you give those numbers to most people when they're doing their initial research about what kind of doctor they want to be, they're not going to choose chiropractic. So here's the thing. You know how different what I do is. Mm-hmm. In fact, I don't think it in most people's minds would even be considered chiropractic. So, why not? Why not do something completely different? You don't have to go $250,000 in debt. You don't have to spend 8 years in school to do what I do. I've taught over 1,000 doctors in 2 different chiropractic schools. I can certainly teach them how to do what I'm doing. And it's not going to take 8 years of their lives and $250,000 of debt before they can start helping people. So that's what I've been doing for the past week, creating a new profession.
Wow. Well, you know,
creating a new profession from an old profession.
Well, sort of.
Yeah. And you have to understand that, you know, everybody has their own ideas of what treatment is going to be. Mm-hmm. And you know, I learned at 11 years old that acupuncture works. Mm-hmm. I learned at 15 years old that chiropractic medicine works. I went into the classical medicine because I knew that as well. I could practice medicine and surgical medicine and you know, be a benefit like every of the other modalities that we've mentioned as well. When you get experience in being treated, you have to go with the result. Mm-hmm. And for those who are doubters, maybe they didn't have the right individual helping them out. Mm-hmm. Maybe they didn't give the right history so the treatment performed could be helpful. But you know, the effects, the results are that I have seen with chiropractic medicine has been outstanding to help my patients, and I use it as a modality for my patients to get better care. And there have been a lot of evidence-based studies that show that in chiropractic care there are certain problems that are better improved than what medical doctors can do. And nowadays, when you have 5 minutes to see your medical doctor, you're ending up, you know, with a prescription and walking out the door with the potential of becoming a drug addict. So there are a lot of pluses and minuses to total care, but I always just look at what the treatment has done and the results that are there. And if you don't keep an open mind, and if you're one of those that think that something is going to be detrimental to you or a poison to you, well, you know, you're going to have to hold on to that thought and believe that, and that's just the way it is. But, you know, I have seen before and, you know, in my 40 years of practicing medicine, that there are a lot of different modalities that one can use, and they each have just great application that have helped my patients. So, I hear what you're saying, Tom, about the different what people might think, but results make a difference. I know there are some people in this room that have gotten great results from chiropractic care.
Absolutely.
And the both of us agree that, when I was 15 years old, I had aspirations of a profession where in sports. And, I tell you that if they had done surgery on me or done other modalities, given me drugs, I probably would not have been able to sign a contract when I was 15 to be able to play baseball. So now I, know that, medicine has its different ways of curing people. And, I have to, as a physician, be open-minded to all the different modalities, as many as I can, and accept that and point my patients in the right direction. I pointed myself in the right direction and was effective in playing ball. But there are others that are not playing ball, but they're living life. And I want them to be able to live a good and reasonable life. So, let those people think what they want to think. Results are key, and we have to look at the results and say, chiropractic medicine is effective. And if you don't want to believe it, that is fine. But rest assured that at least from my viewpoint as a medical professional, I still refer my patients to chiropractors.
That's
Well,
awesome. I appreciate that.
It's interesting, Dr. Tom, because I've had both forms of chiropractic. And the twisting and the turning, to me, didn't solve my problem like the modality that you use.
Right.
It's so completely different. You have never twisted and turned me, ever.
Right. And that is the big sticking point that I faced from the beginning of my professional career, that, oh, I'm a chiropractor. Oh, can you crack my back? Oh, I don't do that. What? It's almost like I don't even want to use the word, because they immediately have this vision of crunch, crunch, twist, twist, pop,
That's right.
pop. And they think that, okay, that's what that is, and I know what that's about. And then, again, only give or take 15% of the population even wants that. Then when you tell them, well, no, I don't do that, then you've confused them even more, and you can forget about the conversation from that point forward. So why not something completely different?
Well,
People, as many people, actually more people, access massage on a regular basis than access chiropractic. Everybody understands what massage is. Everybody knows that, you go there, they rub you, you get some relaxation from some muscle tension, and it has, except for the wrong side of that profession, which where that goes, the sex parlors and that's outside of that. Nobody ever really complains about massage. Nobody thinks that massage is dangerous or massage is an unknown or anything like that. So, with all due respect to massage therapists, because I know some great massage therapists, it doesn't take 8 years of school and $250,000 of debt in order to start a massage business.
No.
So I'm thinking, all right, take it out of the realm of the prestigious chiropractic license, because it doesn't really count for much when you look at it. 15% of the population thinks you're legitimate, 85 doesn't. So I don't care about the prestige of being a chiropractor anymore. It doesn't serve that well.
But what you do
Oh,
is
I know.
effective.
No. I have no question about it. The thing is, I can teach someone how to do it in probably a couple of months if they come and spend time with me, in probably a week or so. If they come to my office, I can teach them how to do. Because I did this with 1,000 chiropractic students. I can teach them how to do what I do with you on the visits that made such a difference for you where regular chiropractic didn't, I can teach an average person off the street how to do it, and they don't have to spend 8 years in school and spend $250,000 before they can start practicing and fighting the insurance companies for every dollar that they try to make.
That I find hard to believe.
You don't think I can do it?
Yeah, oh, you can do it, but how effective are they? Because they don't know the anatomy, they don't know the body like you do. You've been to school and you've learned all that. You wouldn't be able to, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I don't think the person who is taught by you really would understand what you understand and what you do. Does that make sense?
Well, I appreciate that input, but I beg to differ. All I need to do is show them how to find the problems, how to treat the problems, and how to measure the results. As far as spending 2 years cutting dead people apart, that doesn't help me be a better doctor as far as I'm concerned. As far as learning organic chemistry, that doesn't help me be a better doctor as far as I'm concerned. I can't tell you the last time that I had to, do I can't even remember what that stuff is. I just learned it to get through the boards. Yeah, I mean, I don't do that in order to get people better. I can show them what to do in order to get people better. As far as I'm concerned, that's all that matters.
But I couldn't do to myself what you do.
No, you couldn't reach around to get to the
No.
points. No, you couldn't.
Not possible.
But you could treat Russ. I could show you how to use that gun to treat Russ just like I do in my office.
Can you explain gun?
Oh, okay. So, yeah. So, not a gun. We're now calling it the impulse, right? But
It sounds like it when Russ is sitting in the wheelchair.
So the
and
reason
you
I
do it
use
through
that
the
is because
wheelchair.
he's in a wheelchair
Sure,
now.
sure.
And when I use this impulse device on skin, it doesn't make any noise like a.
No. Yes.
But when I have to use it through his wheelchair, it literally sounds like a gun.
It does. Sounds
Like
a
every time
machine
I
gun.
do the impulse, it's like pow, 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 pow. It
Sounds like a
like
machine gun.
yeah.
It really does.
so. So the impulse.
Your neighbors might be a
Yeah.
little worried.
The impulse is a mechanical device that it puts a quick little nudge, and where you put that nudge is the important part. So here's the science behind it in a very, very easy version. There's a little piece of your brain that determines whether you're going to have a stress response or a healing response. And for a real long time, science has been trying to figure out how do we switch the stress response into the healing response. And we found one of the best inputs into that system is through spinal joints. When you can stimulate spinal joints to behave normally, that's automatic. When spinal joints are moving normally, they constantly trigger the healing response. When a spinal joint gets stuck, it actually starts triggering the alarm response and creates a chronic situation where you're spewing out stress hormones continuously. So that impulse device, without twisting or cracking, re-establishes the normal motion in the spinal segment to trigger the healing response instead of the stress reaction in the brain.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
The twisting and cracking kind of chiropractic does not do the same thing.
No, I can. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Because what you have done on my neck has been absolutely amazing, and you've used that impulse, and so that triggers the thought down into the spinal area.
Exactly.
That helps correct that pain.
That is exactly what it does. I'll get into more detail if you want when we get back from the break.
Okay, that sounds good. Yes, we need to take a break. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, KHTS.
The best live theater can be found right here in the Santa Clarita Valley. The Canyon Theater Guild has been entertaining audiences for decades with top quality musicals and plays. Located on Main Street in Old Town Newhall, CTG also offers workshops for the young actor in your family. For more information, call the box office at 799-2702 or go online to canyontheater.org.
Olive Terrace Bar and Grill is the hottest new Mediterranean fusion restaurant in Santa Clarita with unique delicacies like seafood right off the boat, mouth-watering prime steaks, artesian sandwiches, delicious pastas, and tasty kebabs. Unwind on their cozy outdoor patio at their weekend champagne brunch, full menu, and weekly specials at oliveterracebarandgrill.com. Check out their full bar and happy hour daily specials in Valencia on Copper Hill and Newhall Ranch Road by LA Fitness. Olive Terrace Bar and Grill, delicious food seasoned with love.
There's only one Santa Clarita plastic surgeon who is Yale trained and board certified, Dr. Justin Heller.
To be a board certified plastic surgeon like myself, what that truly entails is about 5 to 7 years of honed surgical training in reconstructive, all areas, as well as aesthetic, so which means your facelifts, your breast augmentations, your body contouring, true training, and board certification. In fact, that's the only board certified area that can be achieved in this realm.
Dr. Justin Heller, warm, understanding, always available for guidance because he's local. HellerPlasticSurgery.com.
At Advanced Audiology, we know how important hearing is to you, your loved ones, your work success, your safety, and your ability to stay in the game. Most people won't admit hearing loss to themselves or others. We make it easy for you. Today's digital hearing aids come in a variety of styles, including invisible. All feature-rich, providing unparalleled hearing quality, wearing comfort, and automation that simplifies your life. Don't be fooled by our imitators. There's only one Advanced Audiology with the purple sign next to AAA on Valencia Boulevard.
Santa Clarita's hometown station.
Now FM, 98.1 FM and AM-1220, your hometown station.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, KHTS. And we're speaking with Dr. Thomas Polucki, who is a local chiropractor, talking about the modalities that he uses rather than the twisting and the scrunching and the turning, which is horrible.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how horrible it was until I started going to you,
Right.
which has been some time now.
Well, we talked about the
And-
got that you can use on Russ as well. and
Yes.
I think scared our audience just a little bit.
No, but his
not a
back pain
gun.
has been improved tremendously.
Yeah.
It really has.
Yeah, I can see it in his face.
Oh, yes. He doesn't complain. Now, if he sits in his chair and slouches, then he does cause himself some pain. But when we can get him sitting back far enough in his chair and sitting up, then the pain is not there. It's amazing. It really is. But, you know, I have a hot stone massage once a week.
Uh-huh.
And it's absolutely wonderful. It relaxes me. And I so look forward to it. Because she comes to the home, sets up all of her gear, and heats all of her stone. And she uses lavender oil, which, woo, I love lavender oil. But she massages first with her hands and then uses the stones in the just all over in the critical areas. And it is so relaxing. Everyone needs to do it. They really do. I highly recommend it. And I can recommend her if ever you want someone.
So
she's
we
good.
were using a gun, now we're getting stoned.
Right.
You know, this sounds funny, doesn't it?
No, somebody just tuning in to go, what kind of show is this? For our seniors?
But chiropractic has helped me more than acupuncture. Chiropractic and my massage therapist, they've both been better for me than going to the chiropractor,
And
going
isn't
to the
that the point, Barb,
acupuncture.
that you have to find the modality that works.
That works for
and
you.
you can
Exactly.
keep going to your medical doctor, getting the drugs, and getting addicted and paying a lot of money, or you can try something different, something else that may be beneficial. But you have to find that, and it's searching in life, trying to find a spouse, trying to find a career. I mean, we're always searching and looking, but here, this is trying to find good health. And some people don't look at that search as being an important part of life and how you're evaluating what you're trying to do. And when you stop doing that, then you end up getting stagnant and having to live with that similar pain. And to be honest with you, you have to, in life, as you move through life, you have to look for alternatives as opposed to sitting still. And we tell that to our seniors all the time. And I think it's reasonable recommendations as my patients and their families hear from me. You just have to always continue the search and just never get up, because for the most part there are solutions for our patients.
Yes, there are. And Russ fell this morning. The caregiver was with him. And the caregiver is the one who felt the pain, and I didn't. So, I don't know whether she'll come back or not.
Well, hopefully she will, because she'll learn how to be cautious and know him a little bit better. That's how we learned our body and how our body is going to respond and react. And, slouching and, having poor posture, or, just not doing a whole lot, sometimes will teach us lessons that we need to learn so we can have better posture, so we have less pain. And it's not that easy to figure out, but the body is so interesting. Symptoms are what we get, tell us there's something wrong, and improving on those symptoms is doing things that could help it. And if you're continually doing things that are not helping it, you better change what you're doing, and you better think about how you're going to handle it.
Well, that is the big problem. Most people don't want to think about it, and their thoughts are already preformed because of $1 billion a month of advertising in every form of media there is. So, I don't fault the pharmaceutical industry for what they're doing. They are selling a product. They are using their profits in order to make sure that they can continue to sell their product, and they are giving people exactly what they want. I look at it like this. Marketing is pacifying the crying baby. That's the key to marketing. For a long time, I thought my job as a doctor was to educate my people, to teach them the importance, to get them to take responsibility for their health. And it almost destroyed me for the first 20 years of my professional career, because people didn't appreciate it. People did not appreciate being told what they were doing wrong and how they could make it better and what they needed to be doing in order to do it right. 9 out of 10 of my patients were not happy about that conversation.
I do not understand why.
Well, I do now. Because it's really about just telling people what they want to hear, giving them what they want. There's some kind of pain in order for them to be there in the first place. That's the crying baby in the in the analogy. So there's the crying baby. Now, the pharmaceutical company sees this crying baby and gives it a pacifier. They paint this pretty picture of this is going to get that crying baby to stop crying. The problem is most of their products are quite toxic. That's the real issue. So I don't fault them for doing good marketing. I fault them for knowing that their products are toxic and doing it anyway. They're great marketers, though.
But
They're just giving
money.
the people. Well, they're just giving the people what they want, and that's smart marketing. So, what if you could, instead of giving that baby heroin, Pick up that baby, find out, are you hungry? Are you thirsty? Do you need a change of diapers? Do you need to be held? Do you need to be stroked? What do you need? That's the difference of the kind of doctor I am and the kind of doctor that just writes prescriptions for opioids for everybody under the sun.
Right.
And, I'm just going to be contentious in this because the pharmaceutical companies, yeah, it's smart marketing, but, I don't think that my patient should have to face a manipulation of their life, something that can affect them with side effects, bad outcomes, costs out of their pocket, and, it's nice for you to say that, it's smart, but I'm just not going to use that term, in terms of, and what I see they're lying, they're cheating, they're falsifying, they're manipulating. They are doing a lot of things to our patients and the community and this nation that will be looked back on one day, and they will say this was wrong, and these people should have been treated as criminals. And as far as I look at it, it's a total crime scene that I see in society right now that pharmaceutical companies have taken advantage of. They're trying to say that and put their banner up, we're doing great things for you. And certainly there are sometimes they do. But on the other side now, I feel history will look at what they've done and terrorized our nation, terrorized our seniors, terrorized our children, put them under the influence, took advantage of them, and unfortunately contributed to the downfall of who we are as a nation.
I don't argue one single point that you just made, but I appreciate the brilliance behind it. They fit every criteria for organized crime.
If you have billions of dollars that you've raised, some of it not legally, you can do anything. If any of the three of us sitting in this studio had billions of dollars, we could do what they do. I'm just not going to give them credit for something that involves greed. I'm not going to do that. And my hope is that somebody will rise up, people will rise up, our nation will rise up and say, enough is enough. You're overcharging us. You're giving us side effects. We're walking around like dumbbells now. This doesn't work.
I hope you're right.
Well, I don't think I'm going to be right, to be honest with you. Money talks in this country, and we're just, this is a huge, huge industry that is manipulating our lawmakers, and it's not going to get better. So
instead of fighting the Goliath of the pharmaceutical industry, why not get a lot of people out there who can give people relief from pain, relaxation from stress and tension, and restoration of balance in a quick, easy, and affordable way that is accessible to just about anybody, get certification so there is some standardization of care there, and get as many of these practitioners out there so that people don't have to make the choice of, what drug do I have to take for this ache or this pain or this, I can't sleep or I can't eat or I can't do this or I can't do that, because healthy people don't need drugs in the first place.
No, they don't. That's very true. That's very true. And one of the things that I have learned is the medical marijuana area is becoming much more prominent, if that's the word you want to use, because it does have incredible healing power.
Mm-hmm.
Cannabis oil. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. And the CBD pills, which you used to sell, and they're great for getting rid of pain. It's been amazing.
But the pharmaceutical companies have their hands in that till also.
Right.
And now I do pain management because I do house calls. I see patients who are bedridden. They're uncomfortable, and I have to find a way for them to get relief. And in the past, they have gotten relief through cannabis. And now the costs of those medications have skyrocketed to where it's almost impossible to buy for some of my patients. And that's because the pharmaceutical companies, put their tentacles out and are now involved as well. They're still going to make their money. And, that's why I look at it and I say, nah, this is diabolic, and this is something that, I just wish we could look back, be 50 years ahead and look back and see what has transpired in this country over the last 25 years. And across the board, health care has gone downhill for the American people. And for America to survive, the kids, adults, seniors have to have good health care, and that is not going to happen. And with that basis of life not being available, we potentially could go downhill. And as I've written in my articles, I can see my great grandchild saying to me, "How was it like to be a doctor, in America?" And my answer will be all the things I just said, and they'll ask, "Well, how did you get to be 110 years old?" And I will say, "I moved to Canada." And the truth is that we in this country are not going to get the care that we need to be able to survive and compete in the world marketplace against countries that are giving their people good health care. So, we can talk about it day and night and, for hours and hours. And but, I think Americans know there's a big problem going on. And, we talk about the homeless, we talk about the cost of drugs, we talk about all of it. But it's going to continue happening, and it's not going to stop.
But, Jean, seniors, people are living longer. Look at the number of seniors we have in this city.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with medical attention.
It doesn't?
No, it doesn't.
It has,
but
so here's something to do with how they take care of themselves.
Not really.
No.
So people who are now in their 80s, think about this for a moment, were born in the 30s. Yes?
Yes,
math.
That's right.
Simple math problem. So this is when we really started taking care of people on a social level, making sure that they were getting nutrition, that they were getting hygiene, that they were getting sanitation, that these fundamental things were taken care of. Before the full-on industrialization kicked in of the war and post-war era. So these people who are in their 80s are probably the last group of people who are going to live past 100.
Really?
Once you start kicking in of all the industrial pollution, all the radiation in the atmosphere from above ground testing, all of the pollution that we currently deal with, you're going to start seeing lifespan decrease as much as it has increased over the past couple of decades. You're going to see it drop back down. We are now seeing advanced degenerative diseases in teenagers.
Whoa, that's frightening.
Because of the toxic environment that we have, our water, our air, our food supply are not the same. And the lifestyle is completely different. When we were children, our entertainment was running around and being physically active.
Absolutely.
Different for kids today.
That's very true. Very true.
Their entertainment is sitting in front of a device all day long.
That's very true.
That's why we are now seeing degenerative diseases, which usually is fourth, fifth decade for our generation. We're seeing it in teenagers now.
Life expectancy in the United States has decreased the past 2 years.
It's only going to get much worse.
And there are 10 components when you look it up that the CDC looks at, and of the 10 components, all of them are 8 out of 10 are negative, and they do not see that this is going to change. And the CDC came out with their last reading late because they saw the statistics. I think they had to go over it again. And as soon as it came out, there was a lot of media saying the reason why it decreases because of the opioid problems. Well, that's a fraction of the deaths that we have in this country. And I called my friend at the CDC and I said, why are you trying to say that the decrease in life expectancy is being caused by the opioid crisis? And his quick response was, we are not doing that. Somebody is out there trying to say that. But we know our data says that across the board, people are dying earlier now, and it is, we had 23 years of increasing each year, and now the last 2 years it's gone down. And he said, I expect it's going to continue to happen. And I have written about why that is happening, but you know, as cogs in the wheel, nobody listens, nobody heeds the warning, and it's going to continue this way until, you know, I'm 110 years old and living in Canada.
Wow. We have to take a break. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, KHTS.
There's a classic diner in town that combines old-fashioned dining with a hip 21st century menu. They call it trendy nostalgia. They call it Kathy's Deli. Kathy's Deli is a classic diner. Homemade jams, freshly baked breads, and even unique flavored coffee creamers made on site. Experience the fresh, new, yet old-fashioned taste of your local hometown diner. Serving traditional and unique breakfast and lunch delights every day from 7 to 3. Kathy's Deli on Lyons Avenue off Wayman Court.
At Advanced Audiology, we know how important hearing is to you, your loved ones, your work success, your safety, and your ability to stay in the game. Most people won't admit hearing loss to themselves or others. We make it easy for you. Today's digital hearing aids come in a variety of styles, including invisible. All feature-rich, providing unparalleled hearing quality, wearing comfort, and automation that simplifies your life. Don't be fooled by our imitators. There's only one Advanced Audiology with the purple sign, next to AAA on Valencia Boulevard.
Step into a hot shower or slip on a warm t-shirt fresh from the dryer, and you can feel the comfort natural gas gives us every day. For over 100 years, Southern California Gas Company has provided safe, reliable natural gas service. It warms our homes, powers cleaner vehicles, and cooks our food at a fraction of the cost of other energy sources with less environmental impact, today and for decades to come. Natural gas, part of the clean energy solution. Learn more at SoCalGas.com. Search solution.
Now FM, 98.1 FM and AM 1220. Your hometown station.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, KHTS. And wow, what a conversation we're having on the air and off the air.
Talking about Canada.
No, talking about death and dying and
Ooh,
good
lots of fun.
good health and good medical treatment. And it's interesting because both of my parents died when they were 70.
Mm-hmm.
That is so young.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So young.
But for that time and moment, I mean, after living through a war, World War II, having bombs coming down on top of you, I mean, that's enough for you to lose your hair or get gray hair. I mean, it's incomprehensible what you had to go through and your family, your parents had to go to survive.
Well, thankfully I survived the war but I remember so much of it.
Mhm.
So much of it.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Do you think
I
you have
guess-
PTSD from it?
No,
No, okay.
no, I don't think so. I was
But
well
you're willing to use a gun on Russ.
No, I'm willing for somebody else to use the gun on Russ.
Pow, 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 pow.
Pow, 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 pow. Well, it's certainly helping him.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly helping him. And helped me, but I can't pick him up
Yeah.
or try to pick him up when he falls because that damages me. And that's why I'm seeing you again.
So recapsulate the show, Dr. Polucki. Bring this whole show together and can you whip it from death and dying into something and away from guns and even healthcare? Can you whip it around to bring out something more positive that we're going to get, our listeners are going to get from this?
I think so. So the one thing that we can agree on is that the current system is tragically flawed. And I don't think we're in disagreement that the driving force of that is that the pharmaceutical industry basically runs the show. Mm-hmm. So that to the side for a moment, what are our options? If there were a way that you could affordably forget about what insurance does or doesn't cover, because that's as corrupt a system as the pharmaceutical industry is. It's just nobody wants to talk about that. If you could affordably relieve pain, reduce stress and tension, and restore balance in your body without any drugs, without any surgery, and then learn the exercises that will keep you essentially stress-free, moving pain-free, keep oxygen in your body, in your system, learn some basics about nutrition to stay away from the stuff that isn't even food, and have this system available to you without having to make a doctor's appointment or seeing whether your insurance is going to cover it, or knowing that you could afford to bring your whole family there on a regular basis to make sure that you were as healthy as possible. I think that is the future of healthcare. I think it will eventually get to that point. I'm trying to push this whole process along. I'm usually about 8 to 10 years ahead of these things, but I don't mind that, because someone's got to lay the groundwork, and I have the technology to do so. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. I absolutely would.
So
I've been going to you for, I don't know how long, but it has been effective. My body has responded well to what you have to the way you have treated me, and that didn't include the twisting and the turning.
Exactly. So my new emphasis is training the average person to be able to do what I do without monumental student loan debt, without government agencies getting involved, because we're not claiming to infringe on the intellectual property of treating disease. We're doing something completely different. We're keeping the American population healthy, which is something that the AMA doesn't even consider.
Interesting.
So that's what I'm about these days.
Well, I couldn't agree more. It certainly has been beneficial for me as a human being with a crazy body that I have, and some of the things that I've experienced, automobile accident, falling.
I thought you were
trying to
talking
help.
about Russ, though.
No.
A crazy body.
No. And trying to keep him from falling. That's why I have 24-hour care now.
That's the hard
because
part, isn't
I
it?
can't do it. And the caregiver this morning experienced the same thing. She fell and hurt her hand trying to keep him from falling. And, that's the disease he has, unfortunately, and there's nothing anyone can do to help him except be there and be there. Okay?
Well, I don't think we've figured out all the issues here today, but I think we brought up a lot of them that are disturbing to our listeners, especially our seniors, and hoping that, you know, they will take into their own hands some of the things you have explained to them today, Dr. Polucki. I think it's you know, for them to know how to eat and exercise their body and their brain. I think these are all things that make a huge difference. If our listeners would like to know a little bit more about what you do, how can they get a hold of you?
Probably the best way is by phone, 661-373-5830.
5830. So that's 373-5830. That's
I'm sorry. That's my personal cell phone number.
Well, take that back.
Let me give you the office number of 753-9340.
9340.
What's the matter? Are you getting a little overwhelmed
Yeah,
here?
I didn't do his
I
brain
guess
exercises
so.
today. So that's 661-753-9340.
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
I wondered when you said that. Wait a minute, that's not the number I call.
Well, interesting show today, but I hope our listeners learned a little bit about from the whole spectrum of chiropractic medicine, but how to heal themselves as well, and about maybe moving to Canada in the distant future. Thanks for being on the show today.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it. We are sponsored by Advanced Audiology and Comfort Keepers in Home Care. Listen to us next week on the Senior Hour. Now go and advance your quality of life.